3 seconds. That was all it took for my entire marriage to change. If you've ever felt invisible inside your own home, if you've ever loved someone who slowly began treating you like a stranger, stay with me. Because what happened after I canceled our anniversary without saying a single word completely turned my wife's world upside down. My name is Ethan Carter. I was 36 years old, an architect with a quiet nature and a habit of putting everyone else's happiness before my own. My wife, Vanessa Carter, was 34, beautiful, ambitious, and incredibly successful. She worked as a senior marketing executive for a luxury fashion company. We had been married for 6 years. Everyone believed we were the perfect couple. They couldn't have been more wrong. The distance between us didn't happen overnight. It started little by little. At first, Vanessa blamed work pressure. Then it was business trips. After that, it was constant exhaustion. I understood because I loved her. Every time she canceled our dinner plans or barely looked at me while scrolling through her phone, I kept telling myself things would eventually get better. But the months passed, and something inside me slowly began to break. I realized I was always the one making the effort. I bought flowers, I planned date nights, I sent thoughtful messages. Most of the time, all I received was a one-word reply. One evening, I made reservations at her favorite Italian restaurant. She looked at me, let out a tired sigh, and said, "Ethan, can we not do this tonight? I'm exhausted." I smiled and replied, "Sure." Then I sat alone at that restaurant, eating a dinner meant for two. The waiter kept glancing at the empty chair across from me. It was humiliating. Still, our anniversary was coming, and I believed maybe this time would be different. I secretly spent 2 weeks planning everything: a private rooftop dinner, a live violin performance, her favorite white roses, a custom necklace engraved with our wedding date. I spent thousands because I hoped she would remember us. 3 days before our anniversary, I heard Vanessa laughing loudly in the living room while talking to her friend Mia. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but then I heard my name. "Ethan's probably planning some dramatic anniversary thing," Vanessa laughed. Mia laughed too. "Just act surprised," Vanessa sighed. "I honestly don't have the energy for all that relationship stuff right now." I froze. Relationship stuff? 6 years of marriage had become nothing more than relationship stuff. Without saying a word, I quietly walked away. That night, I sat alone in my car outside our house for nearly an hour, replaying her words over and over in my mind. Then, for the first time in months, I stopped making excuses for her. I pulled out my phone and canceled the rooftop reservation. I canceled the violinist. I canceled the flowers. I canceled everything. I didn't say a word. Our anniversary finally arrived. Vanessa walked downstairs wearing a beautiful black dress. A small smile crossed her face. "Are we leaving soon?" I looked up from my coffee. "Leaving?" Her expression changed. "Our anniversary dinner." I looked at her calmly. "Oh, I canceled it." Silence filled the room. "What?" "I canceled everything." She blinked in disbelief. "What do you mean you canceled everything?" I gave a slight shrug. "You seemed exhausted from all that relationship stuff." The color instantly drained from her face. For a few seconds, she simply stared at me. "You heard that?" I quietly took another sip of my coffee. "Yeah." Her eyes widened. "Ethan, I didn't mean..." I stood up, picked up my keys, and said, "I have work." Then I walked out the door. I ignored every call she made that day. 5 missed calls, 10 messages, then 23. When I came home that evening, Vanessa was sitting on the couch. Her makeup had run, and her eyes were swollen and red from crying. The moment she saw me, she stood up. "Ethan, please." I stayed silent. "I've been horrible." I finally looked at her. "For months, I begged for your attention. For months, I felt completely alone beside my own wife. For months, I kept getting pushed away, and suddenly, the moment I stopped chasing you, now you care? Tears rolled down her cheeks. I thought you'd always be here. A small, sad smile crossed my face. That's the problem, Vanessa. She lowered her head. I got too comfortable. I slowly nodded. No. She looked back up at me. You got too comfortable losing me. For the first time in our marriage, I simply walked past her. I wasn't angry, I wasn't shouting, I was just exhausted. Behind me, I heard her quietly crying, because sometimes revenge isn't cheating, sometimes revenge isn't screaming, sometimes the most painful thing you can do is stop fighting for someone who stopped fighting for you.